I say good evening. Welcome to the We Happy For You History on Your Doorstep podcast. I'm Leighton. Thank you for joining me for another episode. And what I've wanted to do for a while, got World War II Recon, aka Greg, joining us. And love his posts, love sharing them, love tagging them in here, and love seeing him share my posts. So I thought let's get him on and start chatting with him and had a few things in common. And yeah, Greg, hey, how are you?
I'm good, mate. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, thanks for
Um,
joining me, mate. Thanks for absolutely joining me.
yeah, really honoured. Was just chatting before we came on, listening to the podcasts. Quite an honour. You've had Ben Main, Adam Berry, John McManus, and then for me to get invited on is a privilege, mate. Thank you.
So it was do I slip in Kevin Heimel in next, or do I put Greg in? I haven't got Kevin Heimel, by the way. But no, no, thank you, mate. No, you sort of really positive on our posts, and we follow each other, and I think we just, I love it, and I just see that you've started doing then and nows, and and then just chatting with you. I think we came across some common, you know, what do you call it? Common. What's the word I'm thinking of? Like sort of like there's a lot of crossover I want to say with just
Yeah, yeah,
even personal lives or former say professional lives,
yeah, yeah.
and where we've what we've done or what we used to do, etc. And just yeah, it's just seeing you do the then and nows. I think, man, I love that. And you're always sharing hours, and your feedback's been amazing. And it's always like you sort of always question yourself sometimes if like the stuff I do is like, or the stuff you may do, is it interesting enough to engage? And when people are sort of giving you that positive feedback, I think it's quite it sort of drives you on, doesn't it? And you sort
It does, mate. Yeah, yeah,
of
absolutely. But obviously, you see it, and then as soon as, like you say, you get a positive comment that someone who can't make it
mm,
or has been there and didn't realize, and then you've sort of linked that past to what they experience, and
mm,
to get then like positive comments thanking you for just sharing a comparison of a photo,
I know.
basically, and it's always so. My interest in started way before um like World War II then and now. So when I was a kid, there was some books that existed of my hometown. And by the time I'd grown up, the town was like so reconstructed. I make it sound like I'm like quite young, but I'm not. Um, and like a railway line used to run, like it used to
Mm,
be quite a major railway line. But then to see it as I knew it, I couldn't imagine it. So it was always good to then tie. Oh, I recognize that house. That house is
mm.
still there, but that railway embankment isn't there anymore. So now to obviously fast forward and seeing everyone on socials that will find it then and now and share them, it's
I
just
know.
fascinating. I find it fascinating.
No, I couldn't agree more, mate. And from movies, and I think somebody made a comment on it on the Facebook Band of Brothers, on the page. But I put a Band of Brothers one up saying, "Well, you're just copying everyone else. That's a TV show or movie." And I'm like, it's not exclusive to one particular thing,
Yeah,
And I've like what you just said. Then I've seen so many people doing it. I want to say my friend Sander. I saw them before I even met Sander, and Jan from D-Day History, and I met Jan in Normandy for World War II Foundation event, and I couldn't believe I was meeting this guy, and it was just like, oh my God, I love your content. It's so amazing. Like I
yeah,
wish I could do that, and you can. I think that's the thing, though. I think anyone can do it. Um, I'm always quite nervous about putting myself in front of the camera. I'm still dragging out an edit because I think I'm just probably just nervous. If I just want to make it right as best I can. But I think that then and now's, I think for somebody who has a interest in history, like, and they sort of, suppose nervous about putting themselves in front of the camera. I think it's just an easy way of like creating content as
yeah,
well.
absolutely, mate. It is, yeah. But I have to say, I'm exactly the same. I've done a couple of videos, like the back end of last year, because I live up in the Wolds now, and I've got Woodall Spa on the doorstep, and I've
Mm,
been and filmed on the old airfield there. It's not now a nature reserve, mate. If you're ever up this way, come up and
yeah.
yeah, give us a shout. But I filmed on the runway, and it's gated, so like it's not just a free for all.
Hmm.
And just talking to yourself is actually a bit more nerve wracking than like us chatting now,
Yeah.
um, or chatting like you say, our professional lives. We've both probably talked in front of
Mm,
hundreds of people, like just on your own, and you're comfortable. But as soon as you get in front of that camera, it's a different kettle of fish.
I know. I know. I can actually oh man, somebody just pet with, I've got a chat pet word with you. But yeah, no, I know
Yeah,
exactly what you mean. Um I I did one like the video I did, did a few weeks ago. I say a few, it probably has come up to a few weeks ago now when like I said, I'm in this common land. Thankfully it's not gated and I've got to do probably got to get back down there again before it gets too overgrown. For the summer. And
yeah,
weirdly it's like I keep chatting to myself, cut, do again. I sort of do this little cut in front of my face, moving my hand down as if I'm just so I can, when I'm editing, I think that's more of it, but still I'm like, nope, don't like that, do it again, cut. It's weird. And I feel like I'm taking lessons learned. It's not about you, like how to improve it next time. And
yeah, absolutely.
and maybe next time I'll try and have some prom cards or I start building up like I don't know, how you go about things, but you feel like you got to go prepared. And I think if you wing it, it's I think I winged mine a little bit. I think I had enough of a base knowledge to get me over the finish line. Also felt like if I better prepared myself, I think I'd have been a lot more smoother with what I
Yeah,
wanted to talk about.
yeah. I think I've done it both ways. I've tried making a script, but then it's like the retention of trying to keep that script in is like you find yourself stopping and starting and stopping. And so, yeah, well, tomorrow I'm stopping by as we'll chat memorials later on and just document like a couple of memorials in short videos, but in sort of long form
Yeah.
and do them. Yeah, I've had a bit of research into memorials at the minute, and like because the amount of crash sites up and around Bomber County is
Mm.
just unreal.
Oh, so the bomber crash site memorials. No, so not just your
Yeah,
typical like
yeah.
village memorial. They're actually
No,
wow.
they're like individual like aircraft crashes. Yeah, there's more than I can name that I've seen, and it's good to see that like being honoured, like
Mm.
even in such tragic circumstances.
Well, and that's from as from the British perspective that they're being honoured because I feel like the Americans get more mention than the Brits without offending the Americans on this. But certainly,
Yeah,
in even in the UK, I went to Downton Abbey, or where they filmed Downton Abbey, the big house, and there's a
is it
B-17 crash
high
site.
clear? High
That's the
clear,
one.
is it? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and there's a B-17 crash site memorial.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, there's yeah,
I used to
and
live around there. I never knew that.
yeah, there's it's sort of in a garden area. I forget which bomb group it is. I'll have to look at my photos. And if I vaguely remember, again, apologies if I get this wrong, but it's sort of towards the end of the war, which makes it even worse. Like sort of
Yeah,
like you're not even killed in action; that you're killed. Now, again, I probably have to look a little bit of research on that particular aircraft and why how it crashed. But just you're over like friendly land, you're over sort of
yeah,
friendly territory. Sorry, so it's. But yeah, I'm just trying to think. Now you've got me thinking. I know there's one Windrush near sort of in the Cotswolds towards Oxfordshire.
yeah,
Um, Spitfire pilot, trainee, because there's so much here. I don't know if you've ever been around this area. It's
yeah.
incredible for like airfields.
I spent 4.5 years living in Hampshire, and there's some mental, like you've got all the D-Day stuff around there,
Mm,
but then like there was one now just outside. I want to say Portsmouth.
mm,
Plymouth is the one further down in it. My
yeah.
geography is terrible of the south coast. So yeah, it's just like in between Basingstoke and like Portsmouth way on. And during exercise Dream,
Mm,
uh, DREME, if you want to have a look into
hmm.
that. There's a glider being towed by a Sterling in April 44, just before D-Day. And as it was flying over the hills, there's like an iron fort around there. I can't for the life of me remember exactly the point, but I can send you the link as to where it
Yeah,
is.
please do.
And it's flying low level, low altitude, um, and being towed by Sterling. And as it comes in over this iron fort, it clips the tree line. Uh, it must have released the glider because both the damaged glider lands crashing in the field, and that killed all 27 men. And it was like carrying 25 from the 7th Airborne, the
Oh, wow.
King's Own Scottish Borderers.
Yeah.
And yeah, so all 25 of them died. I think it was 3rd Platoon A Company. They all perished, and the two glider pilots. So that particular memorial that's now in the fields where it crashed, it went unacknowledged for 78 years, I think it was.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and the memorial was only unveiled in 2022.
Oh,
So
wow. That's incredible.
just makes you think how many have gone,
Yeah.
crashed. And I know there's one that we'll talk about a bit later on. It's got a bit more of a story to it as well. Um, that, as far as I know, doesn't have a memorial for it. So, but and that story is just fascinating. But yeah, the Sterling from that incident went on another 18 miles and crashed just outside Romsey, which unfortunately also killed all 6 aircrew in that as well.
Wow. So what
But
caused that crash? Do you know what caused it?
yeah, so he was flying low level, but
Hmm.
it was thick fog, like low level fog. But I'm assuming they must have been trying to get low, beneath the fog. But yeah, just clipped a tree on a hill and unfortunately crashed.
Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. Bloody, I'm sorry. I'm trying to think in my head around like, first of all, why would you take off in fog? Or I take it they went it flew into fog, or that's really
Yeah,
interesting. Sort
I've
of.
not really found like the circumstances of how it came to be in that,
Hmm.
whether the fog came in off. It's quite close to the sea, so
Mm,
if you know what the weather's like coming in off the sea, whether it just moved in quite quickly or.
yeah.
But yeah, it's quite a sad
Where did they
story.
fly from? Do you know where they flew from? They
I
flew
don't, mate, to be honest.
Seventh Airborne. I have to look at that. Oh, actually, I think there is I have a great book. Um, I picked it up from this jet age museum just outside Gloucester,
Yeah,
and it's like £3, and it was the history of gliders. And it's just got so much information in there, from the early conception, and then obviously D-Day, Market Garden, Varsity, I believe. I need to double
yeah,
check that. And it documents like, who flew from where and what times and what
yeah,
dates. And it's just, stats, and that's from the British and that's from the American as
yeah.
well. So that'd be really interesting. Wow, that's a really fascinating story. Um, that's incredible. And you're right. I think, and there's a memorial there now, though, you say.
There is for the glider. Yeah, I didn't go to. So I know where the impact point is of the Stirling crash,
Hmm.
but I never went to that area. But yeah, there is one for the glider now with the glider,
Wow.
and that just like takes back to the honoring of memorials, like the poppy reefs there, crosses from
Mhm.
the year before, as they then get refreshed. So there is some societies out there that are still honoring our own memorials, like even
Yeah,
80, 81, 82 years on.
there's one. I'd have to look up my friend Luke. He's in the same line of work as you are. We met, overseas, and I was asking about something, and oh yeah, I want to ask him about a question. I can't remember what it was now. It was a bit quite random. Well, if you could help me saying, because of his where he, what's something to do with what he works with or who for. I was just looking for a phone number. And he goes, "Hey, I just been to Normandy. Oh, about meeting about going to Normandy with my guys." And I was just thinking about you. I was like, "Oh, thanks." And but not just that though. It's just he goes, "Oh, there's a memorial happens near where he is around Salisbury. I want to say I'd have to have a
Yeah,
look now, and I think that's all to do with it's the Airborne, but I think it's for Market Garden. Let me just have a look now. What
Yeah,
you've just said then about that really sort of, and it's like it is great to see that these things are popping up because I hate to say it, there is quite a few American things, even now, certainly Suffolk way, but I think there's so much more. I think there's a lot of crash sites even away from Suffolk and all over the UK, obviously Bomber County. I mean, I hate myself for not going up there enough. I mean, I was very lucky to go up there last year at work and do a 1 day,
yeah,
I don't say a battlefield tour, 'cause it wasn't really just visiting a couple of sites and we finished off at Petwood, which was incredible to visit and go in the bar.
yeah.
Oh, that was incredible. That was. Um, and I mean, how is it for you living in that area because you are surrounded by history?
Honestly, it's fascinating. But as you know, and I mean this in the nicest possible way, Lincolnshire or this area of Lincolnshire doesn't feel like it's moved on from the Second World War.
Oh, really?
The, and I mean it in like such a positive way. The villages are so beautiful, quaint, still have that old feel about them driving through them. As you drive into East Kirkby, the little villages up that way on, it's just stunning.
Mm.
And yeah, thankfully, the modern type of building hasn't caught up. And, I feel that sometimes spoils the lovely, quaint villages like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's stunning. I'm so happy I moved up here.
And that's obviously I had to go via, I think this is where we started talking more. I had to go via Lincolnshire a few weeks ago to pick up something and picked up something from this guy in Boston. And he said, "Oh, this is First Airborne Division area." Like,
Yeah.
wow. And I'm just like, and part of me's like, man, it's something just in my head. It's like, well, I need to read up about that now. I need to find something on that now. And I think when somebody says something to you and you're traveling through that area, and you're absolutely right. I mean, that was probably my second visit to Lincolnshire. I mean, in a year, but even going from last year, first time in such a long time. I can't remember the last time I went to Lincolnshire. I don't think I ever did really, other than briefly with work
Yeah.
years and years ago. And so I suppose, yeah, it's the first time I've really, really gone there. But I need to come back because you're absolutely right. It's absolutely stunning. So I was going to do some aviation photography, but I had to skip that because the chap I was with, we were having a really good chat. And I
Yeah.
extended my stay longer than I thought I'd planned to. Um, and so I carried on to what I wanted to do or where I was going to go afterwards was Binbrook. So
Yeah.
there's a road, it's really just a straight road from from where he was in the Boston area. And there's a church outside his house, which he pointed out some graves to me, which is friggin' fascinating. Um, and then just the drive to Binbrook, where that's if you took away the fencing around the buildings, that would look like a working RAF camp.
Yeah.
It's insane how many buildings are still there, barrack blocks, although they're not slam or anything like that, super blocks. But it was just absolutely phenomenal. You got these two massive, one, two, no, three hangars. Oh, sorry, so maybe there's a couple more, but and it's just honestly, it's incredible. I mean, the control towers have gone. The one from the movie, I believe, was a prop. There's two control towers. If you watch the opening of Memphis Belle, you see two
Yeah.
control towers. You see one in the middle of, or sort of one that sits in front of the hangars, and then it sort of pans past that, and you see the actual another control tower, which is the prop one, whereas obviously they're watching, John Lithgow when the Colonel watching the aircraft come in,
Yeah.
and but still, regardless of that, it's just phenomenal. I highly recommend. I say highly recommend. Um, if you're a Memphis Belle fan, you've got to go and see some of the places because you will see some things from Memphis Belle that are still
Yeah.
there. Some things you might need to go and speak to someone for access. I think I was very, very lucky that by the time I got there, um, I wouldn't say they were getting ready to close shop, but they weren't far off. And the chap,
Yeah.
I just said who I was, or not who I was, sorry, that makes me sound like this absolute arrogant rock star. I just said, I'm a Memphis Belle fan in that sense. That's who I am. And I'm doing these little things for the internet. Can I go and find them and would that be okay? And he's like, yeah, no problem. And he showed me around. And it was just, I
But
think just being polite just gets you so far.
I think with not only that as well, obviously, yeah, manners go a long way, don't they? But uh, you then highlight that museum as well, like your content getting
Yeah.
out like that, and like me, you know what, see Memphis Belle, who knows how many times, but I never actually realized it was filmed at Binbrook.
Yeah, I think I've known for a few years. I've wanted to go for a few years, but I've just never gotten it because I never go to Lincolnshire.
Yeah.
And it's just up the road from you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things I need to tick off now. I've been here for too long, and
And
I've still got, yeah, a lot on the list that I need to tick off.
and there is, I think sometimes when you work and you sort of forget where you are. I think I said this to you the other day, where I was, God, about 15 years ago now makes me sound, old. But I was in the sort of, I worked around Huntingdon and I was there for 3 years. And don't get me wrong, I love B-17s. I love the 8th Air Force, love B-17s. And I didn't go to Duxford until the end of, my stay of my 3 years before I moved to the West Midlands. But not only that, but where I was close to Alconbury, Holbrook, Kimbolton, Chilveston, Grafton Underwood.
Yeah,
And there's one by St. Neots where the SOE flew from. I forget the name of that every time. And I need to go there before that turns into a housing estate, because apparently there's plans to do that. And I'm just thinking to myself, because I was reading World War II history, or certainly history, but I wasn't necessarily there for. So I think I was still on this Band of Brothers high of reading about airborne and other units. And although, like what you just said, any amount of times I've watched Memphis Belle, probably that for me, probably the gateway. I say not the gateway, but certainly started me enjoying military hardware.
yeah,
Um, and that was when that came out, I was 1991, I want to say, 91, 1990, but that just started the process, and then obviously Thin Red Line, Saving Private Ryan, Band of Brothers, and I think it was probably just after Band of Brothers I started reading and sort of kicked myself. Like I don't know about you, but I suppose maybe you're at an age now where you are, where you live in Petwood, Bomber County or Bomber Country, sorry. It's yeah.
yeah.
How is it? How is that? Like just all these places on your doorstep.
But I'm much the same, mate, and I'm sure there's many throughout the world that like Band of Brothers, like that Band of Brothers high. Well, I think you could probably even rewind a little bit.
Mm,
It started when Saving Private Ryan came out.
yeah,
And we all know that Saving Private Ryan's got its flaws in history, but it's a movie.
yeah.
Um, Band of Brothers, again, the book and the actual TV series stray from each other. And I think history, but yeah, I think that then sent like even though the ultimate foundations go back to like the black and white films as
Yeah,
we were growing up as kids, we know watching it with dad and granddad.
yeah.
But then started reading Stephen E. Ambrose as Band of Brothers came out, realized that there's more, and then yeah, it just goes from there, doesn't it? And then
Yeah.
you then start to see like more and more or notice more and more museums. I mean, another fantastic museum down your way and now I've moved is the Tank Museum.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I haven't been there yet. I need to
yeah,
go there.
you definitely need to go just to see the tiger running
Mm,
is something.
I'd
Um,
love to go. It's on the list. It's again, don't know why I haven't. And there's so more. I'm finding out so more sort of. I don't know about you where you live. The county regiment museums as well.
yeah.
I mean, there's one in Gloucester. I didn't even know they fought in Korea. And
Wow.
it's I think it was the Battle of or River Imjin,
Yeah.
something like that. Like it was the Battle of Imjin or the River Imjin. And again,
Yeah.
apologies if I got that wrong. Um, and I know the base outside Gloucester is, and I don't know if Innsworth.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's now
Yeah.
called Imjin Barracks, and I just thought, what an unusual name that is. And it was only maybe last week or the week before that I realized it's based on, the Korean War, the battle in
Oh
the
yeah.
Korean War.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's
Wow.
just
Yeah.
like, I didn't know that. It's just like wow. 'Cause I always found that quite random. You're in the you're sort of in Gloucestershire and you got this quite an unusual name, which isn't English or British, or what is it? And I never thought about Googling or anything like that because I just thought, okay, they just grabbed the name out of a hat. But it's relating back to a Gloucester and the Gloucestershire and the regiment and the Korean War. And I was like, well,
Yeah.
that's a rabbit hole I need to go down now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of things that are based on like battles and battle honors for various units, isn't there?
Yeah, there is, and there's a museum about Worcestershire and the Worcestershire Regiment. Then you go another direction, you've got the Oxen Bucks Museum, and
Yeah,
it's just like it's just. And then if I go a little bit further, you got Brecon, which is the Royal Welsh Museum, which I guess well, if you're is a fan of the movie Zulu, and
yeah,
it's got a lot of stuff there. And I remember going there as a kid, um, and just I was more interested in the Zulu stuff, the Rorke's, the Rorke's Drift stuff, because we just said earlier, as you're a kid, your father, your grandfather, you're watching all these war movies. So to see stuff from Rorke's Drift is what caught my attention and nothing else.
yeah,
Um, but I still can't remember where I saw Rorke's Drift because it's been that long ago since I went to that museum. But you're right, though. It's I think you can just pick up on something and you can just flick a switch
yeah,
of what you look into and I think God, I'm trying to think now. I think going back, we sort of with now and thens or then and nows. It's like seeing the content online from my friend Sander from Yarn D-Day and all the other pages and even the movie ones, which I still find, even though probably nothing's changed, I still find it fascinating to see where a movie was filmed or a TV show. Um, and if I'm able to go there or not, just it's just wow, that's pretty cool to see. Um, but it can feed something. It can go well, seeing local history, and I don't know about you, and if this has sort of been on your wavelength. Certainly with with being up in Bomber Command country and doing more there is just something different. With then and now, is it's all great seeing the World War, sorry, the battles over on mainland Europe. But I don't know why. I just like the idea of the British-based stuff, in
yeah,
the build up, the training, or just a day in the life of a serviceman, walking in town. I really like that.
yeah. It's something a bit more like of a romantic feel of that war side, isn't it? The real life feel. Like, say, you go back to Petwood. There's many photos of, like just to air crew just on the balcony, having a
Mm,
laugh, having a pint, having a cigarette. And then you've got Guy Gibson posing with the group captain, whose name escapes me. Like, just like nothing's wrong.
mm,
You don't know if they've just flown back from a mission, they're just
yeah,
about to go on a mission, are some of
yeah,
them gonna come back,
yeah.
and it's just that that normal side of the military life, and they're at war as well.
I know it's mental, isn't it? And you can sort of look at that with um, the Eighth Air Force. I think Masters of the Air shows it. 12 O'clock High, The War
Yeah,
Lover with Steve McQueen. Um, you see that, and there's a British version of it as well. I don't know if you've seen it. I think they're flying not mosquitoes. What was it called? There's a British version, and it was filmed. A little bit was done. I would say a cat trick, and it used to be an RAF cat trick. It was black and white. I was looking for something to watch the other week, and I came across this movie. I was thinking, Stars Above, I think, or something like that. Again, excuse me if I get that wrong. I've only watched it once, but I thought it was utterly brilliant.
I'll have to have a look for that.
And yeah, and it is very much like 12 O'clock High. It's the British version of 12 O'clock High,
Yeah,
and I think it was released before 12 O'clock High as well. But obviously, they haven't got a Clark Gable, not Clark Gable, sorry, Gregory Peck. Uh,
yeah,
in that role, that megastar role. Oh, what is it? It's going to bother me now, and hopefully I can find it while we're still, chatting. If not, I'll have to sort of send it to you. Um, but no, it is. You're right. It's the Americans are coming in, so you got British bomber squadron operating from this airfield, and then they they're sort of getting told, oh, the Americans are coming in, so get ready to hand over the base, which happens quite a lot. And so they're just getting ready to do that handover. And as you just said, then they go into dances, they go into the movies, they're meeting people, getting married, and then they're going on missions. And then they're sort of seeing like people, cast members just drop off and off and off. And then obviously you got the American crew who come in and they're a little bit cocky, and I don't think they realize what they're letting themselves in for. And at that point, I think the Americans were. Because I've only just watched this once, so I'm just trying to remember as well. But you've got the Americans coming in, and I don't think they're not doing combat missions just yet. They're still embedding in training, getting ready, and I don't think they're realizing the seriousness of it
Yeah.
immediately. But I think they're slowly starting to see it. So it's slowly creeping in. It's really good. It was excellent, and I think it was on ITV4 if you have that, or not ITV4, sorry, ITVX.
All right.
Um,
Yeah.
but I think what you just said then is, looking at that photo of Petwood, and you don't know what has just happened or where they've come from or what they're about to do.
Yeah. It's just mental. And then like you step and Woodall Spa is like honestly the way they honor the military from the Second World War and even to this day. In the square, I don't know if you noticed, there's all the memorials certainly to 617.
Hmm. I saw
And
it, but I
that's
didn't visit it when I went through it last year.
well, there's the big one, there's like the modern obelisk, and the big one's it's in the shape of one of the dams. I think it's the Mona
Mm.
Dam. And the Roll of Honor for like the squadron personnel on there. But that square itself was actually it was the Royal Hotel, and I know I've covered this in a then and now because the picture exists. I think it was 1941. It was actually hit by a German parachute mine and destroyed. Um, and now in the sort of footprint of where that hotel was is the Memorial Square.
Wow.
Yeah, so like, and there's a trail around, and like many of the houses that's still there. The bookshop was like the local volunteer kitchen.
Mm.
Um, there's the hotel. I can't remember the name of it. Round on the back road, round by the Cinema in the Woods, the famous cinema in the woods. Um, Around there, there's like a hotel, but there's a trail, and they've got boards up that give you all the information
Wow.
of what happened in this building. Um, and and there's just a walk around the village, and it's fantastic.
That sounds
Um,
amazing.
but then you go down onto the airfield. It's nature reserve now, but the
Hmm.
gate has got like signs on. You can see the old brick foundations of the main gate where you drive on.
Wow.
As you go through there, there's now like a sign, a cast iron sign with like silhouette of Lancasters and mosquitoes. And then the Airfields of Britain obelisk is at the top. But if you go through Woodall and around the back, you can walk through what's called an Ostler's Plantation now.
Mm.
And that is the old spectacles where the Lancasters would have been parked. But then also, they've got the bays for where the tall boy bombs were kept.
Wow.
Yeah, so all that's still there. All the foundations of the bomb dump buildings. I actually have TikTok. I said I'd never do it, but I went on TikTok and I was on the TikTok live walking down to show the bomb dump and casually walking past a family with their little dog. And I actually got bit by the dog whilst I was on. So yeah, but that's another tangent. But yeah, the buildings are still
I think,
all intact.
wow.
Uh, the air raid shelters are in there, and nature's just taken over. But they say everything's still
Still
around. The
there.
bund, all the bunding for where the bombs would have been kept. Yeah, it's fascinating to walk around.
That's amazing. That is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, the history's it's pretty mental. But I know we spoke about it earlier today when we're on. But the another interest, whether I believe or I don't believe, is the paranormal.
Yeah.
But the woods around there are so eerie. Um, like I've read tales of dog walkers walking through there at night, and hearing the Lancaster engine still roaring,
Oh, wow.
hearing voices of like people in and around the trees. I mean, the voices could be locals, but
Mm,
yeah, it's got that eerie vibe to it. Like whilst nature's still taking over,
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
still going.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Oh man, that'd be incredible. Again, that's like very like the Lancaster. Like it's weird we just said then about like hearing the engines of the Lancaster still going. And that movie I just mentioned, Above in the Stars, or I'll find the name for that one. I thought that, and 12 O'Clock High. That's, you know, I think it starts off with, so they literally mirror each other, these two movies, certainly with the intro, where they go to former airfields, and then they just, I think it's the XO, isn't it, for 12 O'Clock High, or the adjutant, or the XO or adjutant, and he
Yeah,
just hears singing, the noise, the people, the engines, and we just see the grass just moving, as if the
yeah,
engines would. Oh, I love that scene, and to do that would be incredible. Wow, yeah,
yeah.
sort of tempted to get up there now. I'm trying to think when next time I can go up to Lincolnshire, but that is it. And do you have plans to do more of then now content around that area, and obviously, well, around Bomber Country, Bomber Command Country, while you're there?
Yeah, so again, Woodall Spa, First Airborne was there just before Arnhem.
Hmm.
So I want to try and go and have a look in the cottage museum that's in Woodall and see if they have any photos of like any of the airborne pictures, or try and at least locate the ones that I have got.
Hmm.
Um, because there's behind that high street in between and in the woods in between Petwood and the actual village itself, there's what look like foundations of old like um accommodation huts.
Hmm.
So I'm trying to figure out whether still doing research on that and trying to find out more about like the airborne side of things there.
With that, have you? It's funny you should say that. Have you got the airfield site plan, and sort of if a building's been identified? I'm giving away my trade secrets here. If a building's been identified in a photo, so it's, you see the sign above somebody's head, or on the back of it might say, oh, this is, HQ, and then, but sort of correlating that then to a site plan, which obviously highlights it through its, well, obviously, they have a square on the map, and then look to the legend. Oh, yeah, that's it. Um,
Yeah, I mean the airfield itself, the buildings that still remain are actually property of the local actual base.
mhm.
So I can't get up there unfortunately to see the buildings.
Oh,
But the airborne photos are in and around Woodall itself. They were
oh,
like
okay.
billeted within the village rather than on the
Oh, not
airfield.
that rather than on the airfield. Oh, sorry. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay. I think. Oh, wow. That's incredible.
Yeah, I'm sure these photos of uh I want to say potentially Eisenhower and Montgomery there at some point as well.
Wow. That's pretty
Uh
cool.
yeah, inspecting the troops.
Yes, because they were doing their rounds. I think I know Churchill and Eisenhower did a lot of that in the build up to D-Day. But again, yeah, Monty would have done the same as well. Oh man, that'd be incredible. That'd be a hell of a then and now. I always think like to get this like rock star, I say rock star, like these iconic individuals. Not to take
Yeah,
anything away from anyone else, but I don't know. It's just something different, isn't it? Where you've got Eisenhower there in that photo that he stood there. Um, I think I did two Eisenhower ones in a space of, I want to say a week and a
nice.
half, and one was the Greenham Common one, which took a little bit of work, but I'm not gonna lie, and after the battle, book helped, and there was that one where it's just a matter of looking, making sure I've come to the right spot, and just again looking what's there, looking at video footage, looking again at the then and now book, because things have changed even in, I think that's 30 years. things had changed. So it sort of it was yeah, and but I think it was either the week before or week after, um, when he's in South Wales, addressing troops. I think it's the 109th Infantry Regiment of the 28th Infantry Division, and I'd been meaning to do that one for about 2 years. And I thought, yeah, I just went and did it. So I did like two Eisenhowers in a space of. I think it's just something different about it, though. I just can't put my finger on it. I think it's because, like I said, it's these iconic individuals, and it's just something. I don't know. I don't want to be disrespectful to anyone else, who served, in that time. But and I love doing my then and nows, and I'm sure you're the same. It's just iconic people. It's just hits differently, and
Yeah,
you think it's going to be like, hundreds of thousands of views, and it's like 50 people, and it's like, oh, not that good then.
yeah. I think the social media algorithms pop the bubble sometimes, don't they?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
It's hard. It's hard to gauge sometimes. And if I put the right hashtag in, or is it, if I said enough, or do I say too much? It's hard sometimes. Like one will just hit and do really, really well, and then I don't know if you found the same and just
yeah.
peter off. But it's
I've also found that like posting just 5 minutes later than you normally would sometimes affects it as well.
mm, I think it's consistency, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes, I've noticed that by the way. Um, and I think we're sort of slaves to social media in a way that we have to keep consistent in posting, and timings is
yeah,
bizarre, absolutely
yeah,
bizarre. I've noticed that actually. I've really noticed that. Um, so yeah, I think I might need to address that because I've noticed a dip off in some of the things I've posted just because of the timings. I've never really thought of that. But you
yeah.
just said that.
Yeah, I had a quick Google of like what's the best time, and I've just been away with like a work trip for a few months. So like while I'm busy, I just had to then figure out the time difference and just like schedule posts. So whilst
Yeah,
it looks like I've been posting, it's sitting down for an hour or two, and sorting out a few days, and then once I've got more days, then getting more scheduled. So it's managed to keep it going whilst I've been busy out the country.
that's a really good idea, and I think that saves on time consuming. 'Cause I think for me, I think I've fallen foul. So that's actually a really good way. It's the most simplest one. Um, is I do them on the day, which then has an effect. What you just said then about timings, uh, being inconsistent. But if you've got them scheduled, that's taken away from you. And I think the reason I haven't done the scheduling part is like is because I can't tag anyone in there. I
Yeah,
think you
yeah,
can't tag people in if you've um yeah, you can't schedule posts if you've tagged people in, which sort of I don't understand why they've sort of put that control in.
yeah,
But maybe it's just sort of, if I do the scheduling bit and I haven't tagged anyone in, apologies to anyone who's listening. That's the reason why I haven't tagged you in there because I'm doing the scheduling bit, but then maybe tagging them after the fact or something and doing it that way. Because I think tagging people in there I think helps with growth. It's silly that I'm in my mid 40s and I'm concerned about social media growth, and it's weird. I never thought I'd ever hear myself say that.
yeah. I know what you mean, though, mate. I mean, I'm about to tip over into 40 very soon, and
Oh yeah,
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 yeah. I feel exactly the same.
yeah. It's like I've avoided TikTok, but I'm too old for TikTok. But yeah, I never thought I'd see myself as this person. And again, don't know about you. It's just, I mean, so going back to you then, actually, in World War II, Recon, your Instagram page and your Facebook page, by the way, which is excellent.
Thank you.
What inspired you to do it?
Um, I think I'd been to an air show and I'd posted like I'd got like a separate Instagram page from my normal one anyway. Um, oh, in fact, it might have been a YouTube account actually that I'd never used. I think it was YouTube where it started,
Hmm.
and the views and like people started getting interested, and and then as you then go onto social media, like I'll post it there as well. And then again on Instagram, like just views of a Spitfire taking off. Um, yeah, there was just gained a lot of interest. So I think if you go right back to the start of my when my account started, it's just aircraft at air shows,
Mm,
and then went to Normandy. Uh, I lived down on the south coast, so I was lucky that the group of friends that I had there, that I lived around, were also heavily interested in the Second World War. So we'd, you know, go round to each other's houses or whatnot and, watch war films. But I think it'd be remiss of me not to mention like what probably is the main catalyst for a lot of us now is we have ways of making you talk.
yeah,
Um, like when their podcast came out during COVID, um, I mean, yeah, become it just became sort of a family, and then
mm,
everyone banded together like back in the early days of Twitter and or X now as it is, and then going to the festivals after COVID unlocked, getting to see the veterans, and then yeah, it's just I think that was probably the big catalyst for like social media.
yeah. I think I know exactly what you mean. I think I wasn't really big into podcasts, and I seen that James Holland and Al Murray were doing them, and I thought that'd be a really cool combination because I started gotten get really liking Al Murray from when he did his oh, what was it from
But
Normandy to
landlord.
no, it
Oh
was
right,
after
yeah, sorry, yeah, the Normandy to Berlin.
Normandy to Berlin documentary, and I sort of
Yeah,
I think I wasn't really a big fan of his pub landlord stuff. But it's amazing how intelligent and how well done that is as well.
yeah,
If you
yeah,
really
it
listen
is.
to it, it's
Yeah,
incredible. By going from Normandy to Berlin, I thought, wow, I really like it. Al Murray, like World War II. Wow, okay, let's watch this. And I remember watching and thinking, man, this is excellent. And I think that was a couple of years before We Have Ways of Making You
yeah,
Talk podcast. And then seeing that he was doing it with James Holland, who was probably at the time, one of my favorite World War II historians,
yeah,
thinking that'd be quite interesting. And just listening to, I think I didn't get into it started listening to it for a while, but like what you just said then, is just listen to it and you buy into what they're talking about. They talk about their Patreon and you
yeah,
join the Patreon and they've got it really well done. I think they've got more slicker with how they operate. Um, you just felt like you were part of a community, didn't you? And I think I don't know, yeah, it's just you just felt like you were part of a community. I'm in like two WhatsApp groups of IC platoons, one
yeah,
from Gloucestershire and one for South Wales, and they're still going. I've been in them for about 3 years, I want to say. I feel like I've been in there for about 3 years, and they still chat. People still chat. I'm sure there's some
yeah,
people who just sit by the sidelines and don't say anything. I can be like that sometimes because you don't know if you can, I suppose, compete. I say compete the word compete, but you don't want to say the wrong thing and make a fool of yourself.
yeah.
But I remember somebody got introduced into the West Midlands IC chat, and they put a joke in there, and it did not go well at all.
Yeah.
They do not. I don't know about you if you're in any of them, but they do not like it's World War II stuff or history.
Yeah.
Like that's not a place for them. Like like the guy deleted it. To be fair, I can't even think it was offensive. It was just a joke. Um,
Yeah.
but I think he was new to the chat as well. I think he just gauged the audience wrong because I suppose in some sense they don't know each other. I think platoons, hate to say it, they have meetups. I don't know about your one if they have social meetups. And
Yeah.
for the West Midlands one, I think I'm not sure the South Wales ones do it. But the West Midlands, they meet just outside Wolverhampton in Codsall. Um, and I think I just said, anybody in Gloucestershire or Cheltenham, anybody meetups. And I think, no, I'm in Cheltenham, but yeah, I wouldn't mind meeting up. And I think, three or four of us, the first one. Um, and then we created a set, we sort of splintered off and created a squad.
Yeah.
And we
Well,
call ourselves the
well,
Cotswold squad, I guess the Cotswolds IC squad or something like that. Um, And I've met up with one of the guys a couple of times, and so last year, Doug, was it Doug? Yeah, Doug. We went for a walk around the old GCHQ, Bennell Hall, which is where it's a housing estate now, but it's where which was it was a World War II site as well. It was the ETO SOS were based. Yeah, ETO SOS.
Yeah.
Got that right. That's where they sort of were operating from. That's where they, when they, and you could still see the old fence line, but I think that came in like later down the line, like down the years. I don't think I was World War II.
Right, yeah.
Um, and but you can still see the outline of it, and it still matches the old site from when it was created. But obviously, yeah, I think it was in the mid '90s. I want to say that it got knocked down, or even early noughts, and moved obviously into the big donut. But
Yeah.
just it's weird how you can just do that with people. And Doug is like probably 20 years older than me as well, so it's 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 a weird little community, and I know what you mean.
Yeah. It's
It's
fantastic.
I think it gets
Fantastic.
yeah.
Well,
And
if anyone's listening when this goes on and they're in the Lincolnshire, Nottinghamshire area, send me a message and add me to the
oh,
IC
you're not in
groups.
one. You're not in one, are you?
Nah, nah, like because obviously I've moved around over the past few years, but I intend to settle around this sort of way on now. So if any of the Nottinghamshire or Lincolnshire ones are around, give me a shout.
Are you in the Discord at all?
No, I've not got Discord.
Oh, I think if you, I hate to ask this, open, the Patreon. Are you signed up to the Patreon?
For theirs,
Yeah.
no.
No, I was and I wasn't because I hate to say, it's just for me, it's just I don't know, it's just there's so much going on with what they do, and it can be quite, consuming. But if first when they had a Discord page, I think it's called,
Yeah,
which I think it's just a way of like different little channels, I think. And it's just another social media thing as well, you could say. But they obviously, introduction page, blah blah blah. You introduce yourself if you're new to it,
yeah,
and then if you say you're from a particular area, they say, well, hey, join this WhatsApp chat. And then that's the IC chat for that particular region. And then yeah, you sort of that's how you sort of get into it.
I'll have to get Discord then and
Yeah,
learn a new social platform.
I know. Yeah, it's there's a lot, and I think it's people are really helpful on there as well. Like really helpful. If you've got a question, people are really helpful. And I
Yeah,
think that's why it's such a good community. Like it's insane what they've done. Like
yeah,
just this podcast. I don't know what has like, I don't know how it happened. It'd be interesting to know how that like was that their intent, or is this sort of I don't know, like something organic has just happened that way. Do you know what I mean? I don't know how.
yeah. It just sort of took off, didn't it? Because I think did it start in 2019, and then I seem to remember I didn't pick up on it until but like the end of it was after COVID,
Hmm.
um, and yeah, I'd sort of picked up on it. Then getting back to driving, it was my driving lesson, and then caught up to COVID when it happened. But yeah, it
Yeah.
took me a few months to a year to pick up on it, and then yeah, I joined the Patreon. But then, like you say, I just couldn't keep up with it, and yeah, so signed off from that. And I think Twitter just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
So apart from going to like the meetings when work doesn't interfere, it's been my only thing for the past three years or so.
Yeah. And have you gone to, we have Ways Fest as well.
Yeah, I did the first one,
Hmm.
third one, and then the one last year.
Yeah, sort of I think I missed the first one. I think second, which for half a day. So I was by myself, and I think I was a little bit overwhelmed by it in a way, but it was still growing though. You still picked up books, cheap books. I met Paul Woodidge for the first time.
Yeah,
John McManus for the first time. Um,
I randomly met Woody for the first time. Not that he'll remember me, but it was the end of like the D-Day commemorations, but it was in Carentan.
hmm.
Um, and Matt Leach was there. Uh, Nick Aaron, he was performing in
Oh
like
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah, yeah, yeah,
in the
yeah,
show.
yeah.
Yeah, so in the square by the harbour,
Hmm.
Yeah, I was there, and
I was there.
yeah, I was there.
No way.
Yeah, yeah, getting
I was
drunk
there
in
as
the rain.
well. Yeah, it was in the rain. I was
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah. I
No
was there for
way.
that. And chatting to Woody. I was chatting to Woody then.
No way. I was there as well.
That's mental.
And I would have been yards away from Woody.
Yeah, yeah. It would have been. There's a group. There's a
Yeah.
group of you there. Yeah. Ah,
I think
that's
I was
mental.
with gosh, I was with my best mate Pete and my mate Andy, who was in the Falklands with. We were on the same shift. Um, and didn't even know he was into World War II until I saw him in when he messaged. I went to Normandy in 2019, and he messaged, "You're in Normandy? Where are you?" I'm there in a couple of days. Like, oh man, I've just gone home. Oh, man. And then I saw him in Bastogne 6 months later, and then it was like, "Oh, you're going to Normandy next year?" Yeah, yeah, And sorry, excuse me. I just bumped into him, met for drinks and all that. But so I was with Andy, and yeah, I was with the band guys. Nick was on stage
Yeah, yeah,
playing in the rain. It was
yeah,
raining. Yeah, Woody's got, so yeah, that's insane. Like, so you were literally yards from me at
yeah,
that
yeah.
point
We
because I
just
was there.
like
It's mental.
yeah. It's just got chatting to him. We were only stood what 5-10 meters behind. So yeah,
Hmm.
to have been
That's
that close and
freaky. That is
literally
freaky.
4 years on, we're just chatting.
Yeah. I don't think I've got photos. I'll see if I got photos of it, but that is absolutely freaky that we were like, literally, that's insane.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, I was in, and that was a good weekend. That I was, that's a trip. I don't know about you, but I was with my best, and like that's like a trip I've been speaking about for years
Did
with
you
my
get the
best mate.
ferry back that year with Matt Leach?
Yeah, why were you on that ferry?
I was on that ferry, yeah.
I was on that ferry.
And that's again, it's just thought in my head. I was like, I remember being on that ferry home when Matt Leach was there.
No way.
So we would have been on the same ferry back to England as well.
Yeah, that's crazy. That is
Yeah,
absolutely crazy. Yeah, because obviously we were sitting like I think he slept and well, because we went out, I can't remember. Yeah, we just plonked ourselves in a corner somewhere and that's insane.
yeah.
Flipping
Small
a
world.
very small world. That's a very small world. Mate, I've had you over now, mate. It's been class. Um, you got to meet up. Yeah, absolutely. And if you're ever down this way, I swear we got to sort of, hook up. And I don't think we've even dipped into like, actually, tell me about the aircraft you're researching, actually, this bullfighter. So yeah, tell me about this aircraft you're researching.
Yeah, so the Bowfighter is one that I've seen since growing up, and it's just a simple memorial on a stone wall, like about 5 minutes from where I grew up. And yeah, I'd not really thought of like the ways to get the information. I tried Googling it, and I went to the air historical branch, and they literally gave me everything. Um, so the two air crew, the American flying officer Kenneth Warner and Flight Sergeant Earl Pendleton, who's from Croydon 41, like the good old boys. Um, yeah, and like I sent you the records across, and the
Mm,
record reads that the engine must have vibrated to a point that it caught fire, um, and the reports of it like rolling on its back. But as you read in that report, the air investigation blamed pilot error
yeah.
that it didn't switch off his fuel pump or switch his fuel pump
Mhm,
to the good engine, which I don't know may have kept him up. But yeah, that came plummeting to the ground at what's now called Poulter Park.
mhm,
But the fascinating thing, well, it's not fascinating, it's actually quite sad, is that where this crash site is, not 50 meters away during the First World War, was actually His Majesty's explosive factory in Langworth.
mhm.
And they manufactured, because there was a shortage of the chemicals for sea mines, they actually manufactured that chemical. And in 2016, there was a fire which killed three people. And 2017, another three people died in a separate fire. But then, like, fast forward to have like another accident happen, not 50 meters away from where this like explosive factory stood. And it's honored, like the people put crosses on there every year. But it's just a simple stone wall
Mhm.
with a blue plaque that gives you the details. And I need to, because I'm just down the road from Digby, and both this aircraft, a Canadian Beaufighter, left from Digby, so they're buried in like Digby Village in the graveyard there. So I need to go over actually and
Mm.
just pay my respects to them.
Wow, yeah, that's incredible. Yeah, I mean, I didn't even know Digby was a flying unit. But that's incredible. That's really, wow, it's really interesting. I mean, have you used Ancestry.com? Because they have some, air records on there.
Yeah, I should do really. But I found a local record from the village, Langworth. So, like the modern, that would have been where the local pit was on that hill. So it's had a lot of history. And now it's just this gorgeous country park. Um, and yeah, so like the cinema, what was the cinema during 1942? The queue was outside the cinema, and there's actually reports of them seeing, like, saying that this plane was in distress and it was on fire, and just saw it spiraling out of control, only for it to come
Wow,
crashing down in the field.
that's incredible.
Yeah,
Absolutely incredible. No, that's a really nice thing that, to research something like that. So I think it's interesting. I think it's weird, isn't it? I think it's keeping history alive, isn't it? And
yeah. I
it's
mean,
on our doorstep. It's there. And
yeah,
instead of looking afar at, say, Normandy or Belgium or Netherlands, um, or wherever, it's there, and we don't need to go to these places to remember these people either, because things
yeah,
happen in the UK, as you've just shown me, the bullfighter. It's okay, it's not the sexy stuff of, but there's a story there.
yeah,
It's not the battles and storming a trench or whatever. It's there's still a story with these guys, you
100%,
know,
mate. Yeah.
and these guys were doing something to do something bigger than themselves as well. So I think that's really, really admirable what you do. And I think that's incredible action, in fact. And
There's another unit in the area, like the 82nd Operational Training Unit. They flew out of Ossington, which is just outside Newark, in
mhm,
between Newark and Tuxford, and Ollerton. It's in that sort of triangle. And um, the there was a Wellington that crashed under similar circumstances. It was reported that like the right hand engine was like feathering, so there
mhm.
just wasn't enough power, and that turned on its back. And this was from a farmer, Jack Ragsdale, who'd seen it come down. But there's also a local sergeant, um, Ernest Flinders, and he wasn't a military sergeant; he was a police sergeant. By the time Jack had raced to it, Ernest had got two of the aircrew out of the burning wreckage,
Wow.
and they were out. And by the time Jack had got to the aircraft, he was back in getting the third out. Um, but unfortunately, from what I can find in the records so far, I'm assuming that the aircrew were like lost to the wreckage, to the
Mm.
pilot. Sorry, the front enders. Um, but the sad thing is, the only thing I can find of this crash in that area is just like a simple notice board. And yeah, so someone's wrote a report on it, and I'll send you a link across to read, mate.
Mm.
It's fascinating. And I've also discovered that there's another memorial to another crash from that same airfield and that same unit 4 days before the end of the air war in Europe.
Oh my God.
And then as soon as that ended, Ossington was like disbanded and closed. Or
Is that's
sorry, 82nd OTU was disbanded
that's always the tragic thing, isn't it? There's always
just 4 days
something.
before the end of the air war. Yeah.
Yeah, that is utterly tragic. It's it's amazing that you're researching this, and I think that's absolutely phenomenal. And it can be, the fact you've got these focuses as well of so hard to get distracted by all the different things around us. The fact that you're focused on these things, I think I think it's excellent. I think it's a great way of remembering them, and I look forward to seeing really what you put on social media as well with all of this, because I think it's utterly fascinating. And Oh, it's incredible. Yeah, looking forward to, seeing more because I think if like, it's one of the things we can't go there, so let's see it. And I think that's the great thing about social media. There's
Yeah,
negative aspects of social media has, but I think this is like one of the great things is if you can't go there, at least you can see that somebody has gone there and they have done that. And I think
yeah,
that's a great thing with going back to the then and nows as well, is A, it could inspire you to go to that place and see it for yourself. Or if you're completely unaware of it, you live near there and you're like, oh my God, I didn't realize that happened there. And
absolutely, mate. Yeah, yeah,
going back to what
definitely.
you said about your hometown, I was looking at photos of my hometown on eBay to buy like these postcards, and going down, from the 1800s or 1900s just to do, then and nows. Um, Not World War II, but it's just something of looking at what was there.
Yeah,
And I think that's what these then and nows can do is they can inspire a lot of people to research that particular site, to, you know, go there themselves, or hey, I can't go there, but wow, I this is what it was, and that's what it looks like. And if you can put a little bit of detail on it as well, I think they can, provide a little context of, so I think there's so many benefits to these then and nows. And I love seeing them. I love seeing all the different people who do them as well, because I think they're incredible. Um, and I love the UK ones as well. And I look forward to seeing, the ones that you do as well. And I hope you do more and more Bomber Command
yeah.
ones.
Thanks,
I
mate.
really, really do. Um,
Likewise. Yeah, fascinating seeing yours.
oh, no, I was gonna say it's fascinating to see yours, but it's, I mean, Bomber Commanders, I think we need to see more of it, when
Yeah,
I don't, maybe I'm just not looking in the right places, but I just feel like it needs to be more of it because I want to see more of it. And not just me in general, but I feel like because Bomber Command were there as well, and we sort of, I don't know, I don't know if I'm just, you know, being, giving, RAF a disservice here, but I don't know, I just feel like it's very American. Like we all, the B-17s, B-24s, right, all the sexy stuff, but let's see some Lancaster
yeah,
bombers, on the hard stand or the spectacles,
yeah,
yeah, I think it'd be awesome, and I think you're in a great place to do it as well. I think, yeah, oh man,
yeah. I have fell in love with the area, but then I know obviously time's getting on, mate. But I just want to say as well that next time you're up, you need to give me a shout. We'll go and look at some of these memorials. I'll take you around, but we've got to show you on Freedom's Wings, the
yes,
Lancaster like memorial that's on the A46 driving into Lincolnshire. It is
I-
absolutely fantastic.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah, honestly, mate, it's brilliant. It's such a tribute, and the team and the charity that sorted that out deserve so much praise for what they've done.
Oh, it's incredible. I've seen, I'm dying to see that. And I went to the Bomber Command's um, museum. Would you call it the center
Yeah,
last
the
year?
Bomber Command Center. Yeah,
And that's when they had the poppies set out, which was amazing.
yeah. I made sure to get myself a couple of them.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
I need to get one of those if I still got them. And that's such a little beautiful place. And again, I love the wings where um the what do you call it? The sculpture
yeah,
outside, which is the size of a wing, if I'm correct. The size of a Lancaster bomber wing.
yeah. I think so.
Um,
Yeah,
but obviously in between it, obviously there's an archway, and it looks straight towards Lincoln Cathedral.
yeah. Such a
It's like
backdrop
literally,
in it.
yeah, it's incredible, absolutely
Yeah,
incredible. Yeah, I think it's more Bomber Command stuff, I say.
yeah. Absolutely, mate. And you'll have to get yourself up here, and we'll go for a tour around.
Look forward to it, mate. Look forward to it. Is there anything you want to promote before you sign off? Anything you want to say, or
Um, no, not really, mate. If anyone wants to just come across, follow me. I'm quite receptive and sending messages and like when I can. Um, but yeah, it's fantastic all the support that everyone gives. Um, like I said at the start, mate, I'm absolutely truly honoured that you've had me on here to have a chat.
honors all mine, mate?
Having
Honestly, all mine. Really enjoyed this
Ben
chat. Really.
Main, John McManus, Joe Muccia, Adam Berry, they've been fantastic, fantastic listens.
Oh
I
no,
look
thank
forward to
you.
more, mate, and hopefully we can meet up in the near future and do something
Yeah,
together.
I hope so, mate. And I hope if we have Race Fest, hope to see you there as well. And
Yeah, absolutely,
we'll
mate.
definitely catch up there, definitely. But no, mate, Greg, thanks for coming on. I know we've sort of had to do some jiggery pokery with accommodation, and no, it's been an absolute pleasure. Really, really enjoyed it, mate. And no, I look forward to seeing more from you. And, hopefully we can jump on again and chat more as well.
I'd
That'd be
love it, mate.
really,
Anytime.
yeah,
Just give me
me
a
too.
shout. I'll be on anytime.
No, excellent, mate. And I'll dig out that film name as well. God, that's going to
Perfect.
be the British 12 o'clock high. But no, thank you for listening, and hopefully hopefully someone else on soon. I've got a couple lined up. The German Great Escape. Um, which is incredible in itself. But yeah, hopefully I can get him on soon. And yeah, Joe Mucci's coming back on as well, and Penn Main, funny enough, together. So I'm really excited about that one. But no, thanks very much, and thank you for tuning in.
Cheers, mate.